Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Jane Lawrence and I come with a lot of juicy content. Have you heard of this adage that men always enjoy sex? Always. Well, while I think that there may be some truth to this idea, it's also true that men can experience mediocre and just plain sex, plain bad sex. So the question is, how can you tell whether your man enjoyed it? Well, there are 20 crystal clear, subtle, and obvious signs that I have been able to curate for you to be able to prove that he enjoys making love to you and with you. So if you spot these signs, be rest assured, my darling, that your partner is having a good time in bed. So before we get into it, make sure to hit the notification bell so that you get notified whenever I post a video here, okay? And by the way, how are you loving my glasses? Do you love? I love. So without waste of time, let's just get right into it, shall we? Number one, he gets hard easily. Now, when he's around you, he gets hard quickly. Even when it's just a mere touch or a kiss, it doesn't just take time for him to have an erection with you. Then that's a sign that his body is subconsciously reacting to your presence. So if he's ready to go for round two, then that's a great sign that he enjoyed the warm-up and he wants more. You should be proud of yourself. Now, let me just make it clear that an erection alone isn't the only thing that you should go on checking, because after all, most men can become really hard and erect even when the wind blows. But if you haven't done anything sexual yet and he's got an erection, then that erection might be nothing more than a sign that he finds you sexy. So I would advise that you try not to read too much into this one without, some of the following additional signs that he likes it, which brings me to number two. He can't seem to wait to have you. He's just dying to be with you. So if you find out that your man is, slyly gripping you in public, or he's always sliding his hands through your thighs in the car, he's meeting you up for a quickie over lunch, or he's borderline just unable to wait to get all of your clothes off before penetrating you, then that carnal desire is a sure sign that he enjoys being in bed with you. Hallelujah to that. Now, if he doesn't push you for sex, that's another sign. So if you're looking for a sign that he enjoys making love to you and not necessarily just having sex, this is a good one. I tell you for a fact, it shows that your pleasure is important to him. The timing of your pleasure is also important to him, and that he's not willing to sacrifice it just to scratch, his sexual itch. And yes, it contradicts my previous point somewhat, which I said if he can't wait to have you. However, you need to look at the wider context of this. If he's clearly restraining himself around you, trying to hold himself back from jumping you, then you should read it as a sign that he enjoys making love to you. So he wants your timing to be right. And trust me, this doesn't mean that he doesn't want to have you pleasure him in other ways, especially if you aren't ready to have it yet. All right. But the fact that he's not pushing you for it is a sure sign that he wants you to want him in your own convenience, so that he makes love to you like the way he ought to make love to you. Do you understand this? However, you also need to understand that if he's completely unengaged, then this is a negative sign. He may not be that interested in you, okay? Now, number four, he prioritizes foreplay. Remember, we don't joke with foreplay when we talk about intimacy in this channel. So really, the fact still remains that when a guy really enjoys sex, he might want to make sure that his partner enjoys it just as much as he does. So much so that he's making plenty of time for foreplay so that you're super aroused for his entry. All right, but nevertheless, be careful with this one, because sometimes, some guys just like intercourse so much so that they rush all over the other fun stuff like a nice sensual massage. Plus, some people are just giving partners, even if it means sacrificing their own pleasure for you. Ideally, I think that you would find partners who give as much as you do, thereby ensuring that you both have an amazing time together in bed. I basically think that it's a little tricky with these signs, but they are still very much valid. Okay, so don't throw them out of the window. Number 5, he's vocal during sex, and this one is a sign that I look out for. As a matter of fact, this sign gets me wild because not every guy express themselves in bed, and I think it's high time that men started to make sounds too. It's a super turn on for women. I really don't know why most men don't make sound. So it's imperative to note that moans, groans, happy sighs, growling, even panting can all indicate that a guy is having a great time with his woman. So the more animalistic the sound is, the more likely he's making it, subconsciously. And he might not even be aware of the fact that he's making such sounds during sex. And like other signs, he enjoys sleeping with you. But nevertheless, a quiet partner isn't, a cause for alarm. Men are oftentimes quieter than women in bed. So if you would like to hear more from him, then let him know. Let him know how hot you think it would be if he lets loose during intercourse. You could also try dirty talking if you think that sex with him is too quiet. Do you get what I mean? Number 6, when he says your name during the act, then baby girl, this could be that sign that you're sexually satisfying this man. He's enjoying it and he wants you to know it by, mustering your name. And it can also be a good sign that he's connecting with you on a more deeper level than just a physical and sexual level. Sometimes people only do this when they're having feelings for the person that they're in bed with. So don't get it twisted. When he calls your name, baby girl, you're doing something great. Number 7, another sign that he enjoys sex with you is when he grabs the back of your head. Even though many people don't like it when their partner grab, the back of their heads, or when they become a little rougher during sex. But this is a surefire way to figure out that this guy, my guy, is enjoying sex with you, because it just feels so good that he wants to increase the intensity. And this is also true when you're blowing your man's trumpet and he just grabs your head in between his hands and digs himself into you a little deeper, especially for that gag reflex. Mad. Mwah. Mwah. Give yourself kudos, babe, because you're doing a great job right there. Number 8, whenever he compliments your skills during or after intercourse, you know that he's so into it with you. Whether he's telling you generally how good it feels, or he makes it a point to compliment something specific you do in bed, or when you're blowing him, take it to heart and keep doing what you're doing to that guy, because it takes a man who really, really enjoyed it to say it. Now, number 9. I know I have mentioned this in my recent video, but yes, if he loves giving you pleasure, it's a sure sign, baby. A sure sign that he loves it with you. I know some people like making their partners, feel really good, so much so that it's almost like a kink, because making you feel good makes them feel good. All right, they might even be happy to focus solely on you without even you touching their bodies. And quite frankly, I'm that kind of person who is born to please. Like, my aim is just to please my man. And sometimes partners who thrive on getting others off are submissive. But don't get it twisted. I'm a dominant. Don't look at me, girl. I like to dominate my man. I like to take control. Sometimes I let him take control. So I can be a mixture of submissive and dominant. I can be a mixture. Why am I putting myself out there? So if his aim is to please you without even putting his needs at the forefront, then he's a good lover. He loves to do the do with you, girl. Number 10, again, eye contact could be a good sign that he likes it. But then again, just understand that the lack of contact isn't necessarily a bad thing. Some people look away or they close their eyes when they're having sex because they're trying to internalize what they're feeling, or because they don't want you to see them make funny faces, you know. Plus, some people just prefer eye contact with romantic partners. So a friend with benefits might not make much eye contact if they love having sex with you. And something that you should note is that a lot of guys will make eye contact with you if it's just sex that they want and not a relationship. So if he makes eye contact with you during sex, then that's a sign that he's so into you and he loves having it with you. Number 11, if he comes easily once you actually get down to business, there is a good sign that he really likes it. Of course, if he's been anticipating sexy times with you and maybe he hasn't had an orgasm in such a long time, or maybe he's inexperienced, he might more likely come easily, when you get down to business. But nevertheless, still feel free to take the credit and be flattered because you earned it, baby. Do you think it's easy to make a man come? I'm telling you, sometimes it's hard work. Number 12, if during sex he has an intense physical reaction, then that's one of the signs that you should look out for. Like, for instance, have you ever had sex so good that you were winded afterwards? Like, you briefly blacked out or your legs were wobbly when you stood up from the bed. Now, if you found yourself speaking gibberish after an intense orgasm, you're not alone, darling. We all have had that experience at some point, and that's to tell you that it was so good. And this physical sign just shows that he enjoyed sex so much so that it's impossible for him to fake it, which is how you know that you can trust them with gauging his enjoyment. Now, number 13, if you notice that he doesn't jump right out of the bed after all said and done, maybe he cannot just walk yet after the experience, or he's just simply basking in the afterglow, lounging in bed with you afterwards, that's a strong sign that sex was good. It also means that he just wants more than sex. And need I say that pillow talk and cuddling might also be a sign of his romantic feeling towards you. Still, you need to be careful because sex can really drain a guy, and spending the night might be more about how zapped he is from the sex than any emotion that you think he might be feeling. And as I have mentioned at the start, these signs alone doesn't necessarily indicate that he enjoyed it with you. Like, this particular sign doesn't really indicate that he enjoyed it with you. However, if you notice it alongside with other signs that I have talked about, that I have mentioned earlier at the start of this video, then you can pretty much be sure that he enjoyed sex with you. Okay, number 14. If he's affectionate afterwards towards you, that's another sign that you want to look out for. Of course, there is a way good sex can make us cover someone in kisses and just make us say that I love you. Sometimes when we don't even mean it, because the feeling of the physical pleasure and the rush of hormones are so powerful that it can make you make promises. You can even make promises of giving everything in your life savings to this person if you're not careful. And in a relationship, good sex has another layer because you care deeply for each other. So being affectionate during and after sex is at the very least a sign that he enjoys being there in the moment with you. He's not rushing off bed to leave you in the cold or in the mess that you both have made. Do you get what I'm saying? Number 15, if he kisses you right after, But this is not always the case, so don't bank on it too much. But kissing is one of those things that can have a lot of meaning. A lot of meaning, especially if he kisses you on your forehead. It means a lot. For some people, it's reserved only for sex with romantic partners and not just casual sex. For others, it's simply part and parcel of, you know, having sex with a person, especially great sex. So you will need to pay attention to the individual person to learn their preferences and the meaning of their signals. As always, watch out for additional indications or signs that he's enjoying sex with you along with this one. Don't be carried away. Number 16, if he goes down on you. You know, we've briefly touched on this in one of my last videos, but I will put the link up here for you to watch in case you missed it. All right, just right here. So if he's having an absolutely amazing time, he might want to return the favor. And there is no single way to do this, but one of the most obvious way to show that he wants you to enjoy things is him wanting to go down on you. All right? He wants to go down on you. Now remember, not every guy likes to go down on a woman, especially a casual one. So if he does, then he really does like you and he enjoys having it with you. Because to be honest with you, not every guy likes to go down. Not every guy likes raw meat. Number 17, if he wants to try out your fantasies, no matter how crazy they are, then sis, that's the one. He loves it with you. And he would do anything to make you happy, because when you're happy, he knows that he's about to get some happy endings. Do you get what I mean? Because to be honest with you, opening up about fantasies can indicate a deep level of trust and comfort with your partner. And anyone who can be open about their fantasies with you has graduated you from one level to another higher level of companionship. And note, I am not talking about relationships that are not exclusive. Okay, I'm talking about exclusive relationships. Plus, discussing sexual fantasies is like saying, you know, I plan to have sex with you again and again and again. Okay? Now, number 18, we're slowly getting to the end. Are you enjoying this? Are you getting something out of it? Number 18, when your guy tells you that he likes having sex with you, or even that you're the best he's ever had, best believe him. Guys don't usually talk like this, especially if he brings up the subject, sis. Believe him. Men don't talk like that, especially if it's not true, or you're not bringing your A games on, or he doesn't really like you that much. But on the other hand, if you bring it up and he thinks it might be some sort of trap, he might say something like this to avoid hurting your feelings. So I would advise that if you're sort of looking for ways to spice up things in the bedroom, you should just try something new or have even better sex than you are having now. Maybe try having a conversation about shared sex life rather than forcing him to grade your sexual skills, because quite frankly, that's a little too revealing of your insecurities. Okay? Great. Now, number 19, whoop whoop, he wants to have sex again with you. So if he sends you messages like, you up yet? Or what are you up to, babes? What's your plan for today? He's definitely interested in having sex again with you. So if you also had a good time, there's no reason not to give it another try or another go, whether it's just a fling or it turns out into something more deeper. So similarly, if he makes plans to hook up again before the night is even done, you know that he enjoyed himself. So you can let yourself feel good if he's already adding you to his future calendar. And if he wants a second round in the same night, you know, it's got to be good for him to ask for it. But don't worry if he's just a one and done kind of person, a one round kind of man, because you have to put into consideration the refractory period. It takes some guys a few hours or even a few days to get hard on again. So cut him some slack and just allow him recharge. Then lastly, number 20, if he calls you afterwards, that's a sign that he likes it. So see, when a guy knows what he wants and he doesn't play games, you will know that he wants you. He will call you or text you without waiting for some silly 3 days rule. Do you get what I mean? After all, why waste time when you could be having more amazing sex with this girl? And who knows, it could also be the perfect time to do some dirty talking or some texting over the phone. Then again, what if you don't see these 20 signs? Look, that's completely understandable if you don't see these 20 signs that I have given to you, because like I like to say, people are different and people may not show these signs immediately. So don't beat yourself up trying to watch out for these signs or trying to be a mind reader. Just realize that there is a clear way to find out what he likes and how he likes to be treated in bed, what things he likes to be done to make sex even much better. And that's talking to him. You know, just simply talking to him. This shows that you care about his sexual pleasure. So go on and communicate with him on and before or after the deed so that you know where his mind's at, okay? That will be all, darling. Until I come your way, same time, you have a great time. Love you. Mwah.